Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video in the series. In this video, I will be covering the bony anatomy on MRI in the shoulder region. So before going towards the MRI, let's see the bony anatomy on radiograph. So what we are seeing here is the radiograph of right shoulder, and we can see the glenohumeral joint is formed by the glenoid part of the scapula and the head of humerus. So here we can see the large head of humerus. It articulates with a relatively shallow glenoid cavity. So this joint is basically a very unstable joint, but the advantage is that it provides wide range of movements. Now, talking about the scapula, so we have this is the lateral border, this is the medial border. Then we have a coracoid process, which is a bony projection which points anteriorly. Then we have a spine of scapula, which is a projection from the posterior surface. It ends into the acromion process, which articulates with the lateral end of clavicle and forms the acromioclavicular joint. So these are the important bones that we are going to see on MRI as well. So starting with the axial plane, from the cranial most section, we can see this is the clavicle, lateral end of clavicle, and this is the acromioclavicular joint. As we are moving down, we can see clearly this is the acromion process, this is the lateral end of clavicle, and this is the acromioclavicular joint. As we are moving down, we can see this is the clavicle, this is the spine of scapula which ends into the acromion process. As we are moving down, we can see this is the coracoid process, which is a bony projection from the scapula which points anteriorly. This is the spine of scapula. As we are moving down, we can see head of humerus has started appearing, which is articulating with the glenoid part of the scapula. This is a scapula, and this is the glenohumeral joint. Here we can see a bicipital sulcus, which houses the long head of biceps tendon. It lies between the lesser tuberosity and the greater tuberosity, which are bony projections from the head of humerus. And both these tuberosities provide attachment to the rotator cuff tendons. And this bicipital sulcus, it lies between these two tuberosities, and it houses the long head of biceps tendon. So this was the axial plane. Now let's see the coronal plane. So starting from the anterior most section, we can see this is a part of clavicle which is seen here. Now we can see the coracoid process. As we are moving posteriorly, we can see head of humerus is seen now, and this is the glenoid. This is the head of humerus, and this is the glenohumeral joint. This is the clavicle, and now we can see the acromion process and clavicle both forming the acromioclavicular joint. As we are moving backwards, we can see the spine of scapula which is ending into the acromion process. And here we can see this is the biceps tendon which goes through the bicipital sulcus, and as I have already said, it lies between the lesser and greater tuberosity. So anteriorly we have the lesser tuberosity, and slightly posteriorly we have the greater tuberosity. So this was the coronal anatomy. Now let's see the sagittal plane. This is the clavicle. This is the body of scapula. This is the spine of scapula. So spine of scapula, it divides the posterior scapular region into two parts, supraspinous fossa and infraspinous fossa. Supraspinous fossa houses the supraspinatus muscle, and infraspinous fossa houses the infraspinatus as well as teres minor muscles. Muscles we will deal in detail in another video. In this video I will be covering only the bony part. So this was the body of scapula and the spine of scapula. And as we are moving, we can see this is the coracoid process which points anteriorly, and this is the spine of scapula which projects posteriorly. And here we can see the acromion process and the clavicle are forming the acromioclavicular joint. And here we can see the coracoid process. So this is anterior and this is posterior. We can also see the head of humerus has started appearing. And this is the section where we are going to comment on the shape of acromion. So depending on the under surface, we classify the acromion types. And this is the bicipital groove. And this is the glenoid. So this was the bony anatomy on sagittal plane. Normal variations like we can see os acromale. So what is os acromale? It is a secondary ossification center of the acromion process which has not fused with the main acromion. So this is os acromale, and it can be mobile and it can cause increased tendency of impingement. However, it is not proven whether it leads to impingement or not, but it is necessary. If it is there, we have to report it in our MRI report. Second is the type of acromion. We should always comment on the type of acromion. So as I have already said, on this sagittal plane, we are going to comment on the type of acromion depending on the shape of the undersurface. So if it is flat, then it is type 1. If it is curved, then it is type 2. If it is hooked, then it is type 3. And if it is curved superiorly, then it is type 4. So type 2 is the most common subtype of acromion, and type 3 is most commonly associated with impingement syndrome. So if type 3 acromion is there, there are high chances that patient might have impingement symptoms. Whereas type 2 is the most common subtype that is seen in the normal population. So this was all about the bony anatomy of shoulder joint on MRI. Thanks for watching the video. Thank you.